Mental problem, mental aberration, mental issue, whatever you may call it, is very common today. People suffer from these issues on a regular basis. And you see, when it comes in their lives, people don't understand it. And only when it becomes serious, people around them start noticing it. These areas, such things, is where astrology comes to be of maximum uses. The primary purpose of astrology, right? Many a times there is, there are questions like this, like, if someone have disease, can it be cured using astrology? No, absolutely not. After the disease have started, it cannot be controlled using astrology. But before the disease starts, from astrology, you can find that yes, there is a combination for this particular disease. Preventive measures can be taken beforehand, and if done properly, the disease will never come at all, right? This is the primary purpose of astrology, right? You see, recently there is a talk related to a singer, how he is suffering from mental issues, and how it was not in the beginning. People, family, friends, others were not able to understand in the beginning what is happening. Later on, it came to their notice that it is some mental problem that the singer was suffering from. All of these things, you see, this is the purpose of astrology, right? To know the unknown. Initially, when mental problems happen, the person himself and others are not able to understand what is happening. Certainly, when the traits have started coming, when the person is confirmed to have mental problem, nothing much can be done. But from astrology, right from the beginning, you can find that, okay, this person is susceptible, and such person should take themselves with much care. And, people around you, if you find they have such combinations, then they should also be dealt with much care, right? This is the primary purpose of astrology. Now, before I go into the combination, there are people who have a particular tendency of thinking in this particular way, that, oh, negative thing is told, right? This is in our horoscope, oh, you made us depressed and all sort of things. I don't understand the mentality. If you go to a doctor will do some tests, and based on that tests, doctor will tell you that, okay, these things are lacking, and because of these things, this problem is going to happen. So do you say to them that this doctor is very negative? Oh, we went to the doctor, he told us many diseases. Oh, doctor is very negative. Doctor as a science is very negative. You see, WHO people told at the outset of Corona that this thing is going to happen, which also happened. Do you label them as negative? No. You see, knowledge is not negative or positive, right? If someone is becoming hopeless listening to truth, they cannot be helped. But the prime purpose of knowledge is not to disappoint anyone, right? The prime purpose is that you know about something beforehand and do take proper measures to counteract it, right? That is the purpose of any type of knowledge, any type of forecast, right? And it's not like that only astrology is forecast, right? In almost in every field, you see one or the other type of forecast is there, right? Maximum top level professions are based on forecast only, right? Judging what is going to happen, what is not going to happen. So not wasting our time much. For mental tension and mental trouble, there is one combination which I have found to be working 100%, if I may say. This combination is very miraculous. This combination is very amazing. And if this combination is present in the horoscope, this indicates mental troubles with people. To understand the combination, do it step by step, one by one. Three planets are there, okay? Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. This Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars, either all three of them should be in mutual kendras to each other. So all three of them are conjoined, or two of them is conjoined, or they are in 1, 4, 7, 10 to each other, not from the ascendant, from each other. This is one setup of combination. Second setup of combination is that any two of them are in kendras to each other, while the third planet is in trine to either of them, right? So trine to either of them will mean fifth house and ninth house. or in 311 house to either of them, right? So the combination is Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, either in mutual kendras or two of them in mutual kendras, while the third one is in trine 5-9 or 3-11 to either of the two who are in mutual kendras, right? We will take some examples which will help you understand how the yoga is applied. When this combination is present in the horoscope of the native, there is mental trouble, there are mental issues, there are mental aberrations in the horoscope, right? But why so? You see, Jupiter talks about wisdom. Jupiter talks about good people as well. Good people in the society, good things in the society, divinity, etc. Saturn and Mars are tamasic planets. Rahu is also tamasic planet. But Saturn, Mars are tamasic planets with body, right? Sariri tamasic planets. It seems like, with respect to this combination, it seems like that the mental aberration, mental tension, mental issue, whatever you may call it, is happening because the native have hurt some good person. See, what does Jupiter indicate? Teachers, people who have blessings of gods, gods themselves, sages, perceptors, religious people, etc. These people are indicated by Jupiter, right? And when someone hurts them in one way or other way, in the previous life apparently, it will be seen with an afflicted Jupiter in current life's horoscope, right? This is how karma is seen in horoscope, right? It will seen as an affliction to Jupiter in current life horoscope. As a result of affliction of Jupiter, because Jupiter indicates wisdom, mental trouble is there. So is the case with Mercury. Mercury also indicates intelligence, right? So affliction of Mercury and Moon indicates mind. Affliction of Moon should also cause mental trouble. But primarily the combination that I have told you, that combination, that is a very secret combination. I use it always. And in my practice in real life horoscopes that I have done in my, practicing experience of some, 12, 13 years now, I have never seen this principle failing. Every person I have came across who have ever told me that they are suffering from health, mental issues, they have suffered in mental issues in past, or those who have suffered mental issues in future, just using this technique, I have predicted things related to them which have came true continuously in my 12, 13 years of experience so far. Like thousands of horoscopes I must have seen, right? At least some 30, 40 cases of mental issues, so I must have done myself, right? So this is very true, right? Like even in horoscopes, that even in the horoscopes of people who are not consulting me, even if I get a horoscope, I see the combination, I tell that the person should be suffering from some mental issue, and 100% of the time it have came true, right? The result, you see, there is a particular thing, you read Tulsidas Manas, Ramcharitamanas by Tulsidas. There is written one thing, right? Sadhu avagya kar phalu aisa jarai nagar anath kar jaisa. Because of disrespecting a saintly person, right? Because Ravan disrespected a saintly person, Jarai Nagar Anath Kar Jaisa, his city Lanka burnt like orphan, right? Burnt like orphan, as in city burnt and people were crying like orphans, right? So you see, in the Shastras everywhere, great bad result for disrespecting the sages, disrespecting the religious person, disrespecting the dharmic person, disrespecting the good person, the bad results are indicated. Even in today's world, if you see, right, or if I talk of it, many karmas are considered as bad karmas in Shastras. More or less, that does not occur in nowadays, it is very obsolete, right? Many things do not happen, such as disrespecting Brahmins, etc. Generally, people don't do. But you see, these are the greatest sins, right? These are Mahapatakas. Brahma Hatya, killing the Brahmin, or hurting the Brahmin, religious person, learned person, righteous person, is considered Mahapatak, right? Is considered a great sin, and there is no refuge for this sin. So, as my follower, if I have to give you one golden piece of advice. I will tell you, never hurt a saintly person, never hurt a religious person, never hurt a righteous person. If the activity, thought, thinking of the person is saintly, is of Brahminical type, right? Is of Brahminical descent, reading, writing, learning, teaching, don't hurt them, right? Because Brahmahatya, hurting the learned person, hurting the sage, ascetic, and people's like sages and ascetics is considered Mahapatak, and there is no relief for that. So this particular combination, but I should, because I have seen a lot of horoscopes, I will also add something into this combination. As we discussed, you see, moon also indicates mind. See, it is very difficult to find a horoscope where there is no affliction to any planet, right? So certainly every planet will be afflicted. In fact, my opinion is that if a planet is very powerful, very strong, it also creates problem. For example, you can notice it with respect to moon. Someone who is having very powerful moon, very strong moon, you will see they are adamant. They are not receptive to advice. Generally, whatever advice you give them, either in real life or from astrology also, they will not follow it. And because of not following it, because of their adamant nature and behavior, their life will not improve. They will keep on doing the same mistakes and they will keep on suffering. With a powerful moon, you will always see it, that these people are not open to learning. These people are adamant, and because of being adamant, they suffer in life, right? So little bit of affliction to any planet is okay. Particularly to moon, I believe little bit of affliction is okay for moon, because a very strong moon makes a person very adamant, non-receptive, which is problematic. However, if the moon is not very afflicted in the horoscope, then there is a chance, right? There are many people who have suffered mental illness, but later on they recover, they regain their composition, right? And these are the cases where moon is in a good situation, right? So this is the combination. Now let us look at a few horoscopes which will tell us how the combination works. See, first horoscope. This is George III, King of England, who had mental derangements at the age of 50, 62, and 66, and became hopelessly insane at the age of 72. What you see in the horoscope? You see in the horoscope that Saturn and Mars are in mutual kendra. Saturn is in 12th house, Mars is in 9th house. 12th house and 9th house are both mutual kendras to each other, 410 to each other. Both of them are apocalypse houses. And Jupiter is in 11th from Saturn. It fulfills the combination. It makes the combination complete. Because of this particular reason, he was having mental troubles. Now, when you check moon, moon is situated in the 6th house. Moon is aspected by Rahu. Moon is aspected by Saturn. Rahu, Saturn are malefic planets. 6th house is not a good house. Because of this particular reason, he became hopelessly insane at the age of 72, could not recover later on. Right? This is another case. This is a person by the name of Antonin Artaud. He is a French artist. He also suffered mental and physical hardships throughout his life, also having severe headaches and neurological pains. Mental breakdown happened to him, and he was also hospitalized in 1937, somewhere around. If you look at the horoscope, what you find that Jupiter and Mars are in mutual kendras to each other. Jupiter in 12th house, Mars is in 9th house, which is 410 to each other. Right? And Saturn is in 3rd house from Jupiter, right? So the combination, right? Any two of them are in the Kendras, and the third planet is either in trine or 311 to either of them. This is applicable here as well. Take this person, Hermann Hesse. Hermann Hesse was a German Swiss poet and novelist. He wrote a very famous novel, Siddharth, right? Which is very popular, highly recommended reading, right? Siddharth novel by Hermann Hesse, you should read. It is based on the life of Gautam Buddha, right? Very good reading it is. He had bout of hypochondria, depression. He had thoughts of suicide multiple times in life. He suffered many years of stress and anguish as well. Why so? You see in the horoscope, Saturn and Mars are situated with each other, right? So mutual kendras, first house is also mutual kendra, and Jupiter is in 11th from Saturn Mars combination, which is in the fourth house. Jupiter is in second house, fourth house and second house is 311 to each other. So once again, the combination. Then you see this person. This person is named, this is Maltatuli. His real name is Edward Dues Dekker. He was a Dutch writer. He used to write by the name of Maltatuli. He suffered depression and had ADHD traits. Why this is so? You look at the horoscope, what you find, Saturn, Mars are in mutual kendras, 4-8 to each other, being respectively in the third house and sixth house. Both of them are apoklimas. Right. So kendras to each other, and Jupiter is in trine to Mars, right? Jupiter is in ninth house to Mars in the second house, making the combination, right? So the problem. Then you see another example. This is Naomi Zud. She is an American singer and actress. She suffered anxiety disorder, depression, mental illness, and panic attacks in her life. Why so? You will look in the horoscope. Jupiter and Mars are in mutual kendras to each other, being in the first house and fourth house, mutual kendras. And Saturn is in trine to Jupiter in 12th house. Right. So the result is happening. Then this lady, you say Kimberly Mays. She is not very popular. She came in news for quite some time. She also had unstable actions and had mental illness as well. Why this is so? You look at the horoscope, Mars and Saturn are in mutual kendras to each other, being in second and 11th house, mutual kendras to each other, and Jupiter is in trine to Mars in 10th house. Right? So the combination. Then this person you see, Tom Graef. He is an American actor and film director. He suffered psychotic episodes and also committed suicide. Sorry. Why this is happening in the horoscope? Saturn and Mars are in mutual kendras in first and 10th house respectively, and Jupiter is in trine to Mars, right? So two of them in mutual kendras, third in trine to them. The principle is applicable. Then you see this horoscope of Lucia Joyce. She was schizophrenic. She was an Irish professional dancer as well. In this horoscope, what is happening? Jupiter is in trine to Saturn, which is in Kendra to Mars, right? So Saturn, Mars are in mutual Kendras, being in 6th house and 9th house, and Jupiter is in trine to Saturn, right? So any two of them in the Kendras and third in the trine, the combination is applicable. Then this lady, Linda Dulmain, was normal woman, right? But she suffered obsessive compulsive disorder because Saturn, Mars are in Kendras to each other, right? Saturn is in third house, Mars is in sixth house, which is mutual Kendra to each other, and Jupiter is in third from Saturn. So the combination, any two of them in the Kendras and third planet in 311 to each other is applicable. Then you see horoscope of John Junior Hinckley. He was American magician who also attempted to assassinate US President Ronald Reagan as well. He also had psychotic episodes in his life and attacks of schizophrenia as well. Why so? Because in the horoscope, Jupiter, Saturn are in mutual kendras to each other, being in 10th house and 7th house, and Mars is in trine to Saturn, right? So two planets in the kendra, third in trine to them. This combination is applicable. Then you see there is this person, Manuel Babbitt, who was US Marine veteran of Vietnam War. But later on, he went into drug and alcohol abuse, suffered mental illness since his youth, and he also murdered a 78-year-old woman in a psychotic episode that he was having. Why so severe mental trouble is there in the horoscope? Because you see, Jupiter and Mars are in mutual kendras to each other, being in third house and sixth house, mutual kendras to each other, and Saturn is in 10th house, being in trine to Mars. So two planets in the mutual kendras, third in the trine, the principle is applicable. Then this lady, Susan Forrest, she was an American writer, but she suffered depression, deep mental illness, nervous breakdown. She also heard voices in her mind, had loss of memory because she was sexually abused in her life as well. Why this is happening? Because Jupiter, Mars are in mutual kendras in the horoscope. You see between 4,000, 9,000. Sorry, 4,000, 10,000. And Saturn is in third house from Jupiter in the ninth house, right? So the combination, two of these planets being in the mutual kendras to each other and third planet being in 311 is applicable in her horoscope. Then you see this next horoscope, right? This is horoscope of Hilda Hilst. She was a Brazilian poet and novelist. She also had periods of mental illness because of Mars Saturn being in mutual kendras to each other in first and the fourth house, and Jupiter being in third house from Mars, right? So two planets in the kendras, third planet in 311 to each other. That combination is applicable in her horoscope. Then this lady named Kitty. This Kitty, real name is Catherine Lee Beckwith, is an American rapper, singer, music producer. She had eating disorder known by the name of bulimia. She also had body dysmorphia and other issues as well. Why this is happening in her horoscope? Because you see, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mars are in mutual kendras to each other between second house and fifth house, mutual kendras to each other, and Saturn is in trine to Jupiter, right? So two planets in mutual kendras and third in trine to them. That principle is applicable. Lastly, you see the horoscope of Carlos Torre Repeto. He was a Mexican chess player, but he had nervous breakdown in his life. Why? Because you see, Jupiter and Mars are in mutual kendras to each other, 1/7 to each other in third house and ninth house, and Saturn is in trine to Mars and 11th house to Jupiter, making the combination, right? Because of this nervous breakdown, if I'm not incorrect, only because of this nervous breakdown itself, death also happened for him, right? I'm not, as I faintly remember, this is the case, right? So as we have seen through these 15 horoscopes, right? I believe you have properly understood how the combination works. As we understood from these 15 horoscopes, Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, three planets. Either three of them are in mutual kendras to each other, or any two of them are in mutual kendras to each other, while the third planet is in 5, 9, or 311 to either of them who are in mutual kendras, creates a combination for mental trouble. From my experience, I will also tell you that if moon is not very much afflicted in the horoscope, like two or more than two affliction to Rashi or house should be bad. Very good, very strong houses for moon is also a problem, right? So Cancer, Scorpio, Taurus, they will be problem. And apart from that, bad house, bad Rashi for moon, bad Rashi should include Taurus, Cancer, because very strong moon is also problematic. The moon should be in bad Rashi, bad house, and added to that, there should be two or more than two afflicting factors over moon. In this case, it is very problematic. If moon is not this much afflicted, then in that particular scenario, there is still hope for the person. If they take timely care, if people around them understand, if they get timely care, medication, and if they, do things in good manner, then generally they are able to save themselves. One more thing I will give you from my experience, that if the fifth house, you see, because mind of the person is fifth house, mind, mentality, thinking of the person is fifth house, right? So if fifth house is very much afflicted, fifth lord is very much afflicted, weak, Lagna lord is very much afflicted, weak, etc., which indicates intelligence. In that particular scenario, the intelligence of the person is not correct, not on the right path. Because of which, as I explained, right, the results are any bad result in this life. The philosophy of astrology believes in that any bad result in this life is a result of bad karmas from past life only. So such people with afflicted fifth house, fifth lord, afflicted Lagna lord, they continue to engage in bad karmas in this life also, because of which conditions become very severe. So if someone is having this combination, they should look at themselves in mirror, reflect into their life and lifestyle, and take correct decisions, and should not further do more bad karmas, because the more bad karmas they will do, more sufferings they will have, right? My point behind mentioning it was that generally when fifth house, fifth lord, Lagna lord is weak and afflicted also, more than two affliction, as we did with moon, same we have to do with these factors as well. Generally, in these cases, what you will see that because of drug and alcohol abuse and because of bad habits, because of bad activities such as drug, alcohol abuse, etc., etc., the person falls into mental troubles and diseases, etc. Right? So, if you see such combinations in a horoscope, it is strongly advised for these people to stay away from this drug, alcohol, and all of these things. Otherwise, it will be very problematic. To normal people also, stay away from drug, alcohol as well, because if you don't stay away, then you will become tamasic, and if you are tamasic in life, you will certainly suffer. You will suffer today or you will suffer tomorrow. So the best way is to remain sattvic, right? Or rastic to be the least, right?